Well, everybody's favorite attempted murderer, Tim Lambesis, is back in the news. And not just because there's a petition against him to investigate him for animal cruelty that already has 70,000 signatures on it, but because guitarist Ken Susi has spilled the tea on why everybody quit As I Lay Dying. Again. You can check out the full article on metalsucks.net. You can also check out the Brutally Speaking podcast. It's like a 2-hour-long conversation where all this comes out, but I'm just going to give you the short version. So the band and the crew and everybody involved, they're all hanging out after Metal Fest at Ken Susi's house. Everybody's having a good time. Tim Lambesis is off getting a tattoo, and he comes by later. And allegedly, one of the first things he does is he goes up to his wife, starts arguing and throwing a fit, and then he spits in her face in someone else's house. So Ken hears the commotion, sees they're arguing, separates the two, and Ken is a smart guy who has cameras all over his house and in the common areas, and there's a sign posted outside of his house that says there's cameras all over his house. So Ken goes to ask Tim what happens. Tim gives some bullshit story that definitely didn't happen. Ken goes and asks his wife, Tim's wife, what happened. She gives a completely different story. Then Ken goes to check the cameras, and it turns out, Tim's wife was right. Tim came over to the house, threw a fucking fit, and spit in his wife's face. Ken then immediately calls Tim out for that shit. He's like, why are you lying to me in my own house? You need to fucking leave. And so Tim leaves. This is very quickly followed by threats from Tim about suing him and going to court over it if he ever releases the footage or talks about any of this information. Typical Tim Lambesis stuff. But because the whole band was there, the whole band was able to witness at least parts of what happened. Everybody was like, yo, this dude is not safe to be around. So that is the crisis of conscience that caused everybody to quit As I Lay Dying. And that is why when the band broke up, Tim tried to spin it like it was everybody else's fault that they left the band, and definitely not him at all. But it always is. It's always the narcissist when everybody else is like, I'm out. This is also why everybody who left the band said that As I Lay Dying was not a healthy and safe environment for anyone involved, because it wasn't. And Ken, like a total badass, is like, you can claim that you didn't know you were being recorded. You can claim that you had no consent to be recorded and that you didn't know any of that was going on. But here's the thing. I got receipts. Like, honestly, if that statement doesn't scream, come at me, bro, I don't know what does. So there you have it. Tim Lambesis doesn't just abuse dogs in his spare time. He abuses people in front of other people and then plays the victim card when no one else agrees with him. Now, personally, I've known that Tim Lambesis was not a good dude ever since he hired a hitman to unalive his first wife. And a lot of people, stuck by him after that and said he did his time, even though he only served 3 years.